Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you all so much for your kind association. Let's get started with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanaಭಾಯ Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangrihe Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namao Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarupescha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gauri Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadave Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam karoti vācālam pangum langāyate giram yatkripahatam ham vande Shri Guru Dīnataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwara. Hari Om. So thank you once again for your very kind association. So we'll continue with our Bhakti Vaibhav session. I'll share my screen. We are in chapter 8, Canto 1, chapter 8. So we started the prayers of Kunti Maharani, right? So we saw in the chapter, let's do a quick recap of this entire chapter. We are supposed to start with verse number 21. But we saw that how when Ashwatthama was punished, all the Pandavas, they went and offered their oblations for the departed souls on the banks of river Ganga. Krishna tries to pacify and wants to establish the glory of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Then Krishna decided to go to Dwarka. As soon as he mounted his chariot, Uttara came and cried for help. And she said, Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Tad Abhayam Pasya Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. That there is no one except you who can help me and who can help me to protect me from this fiery weapon that is approaching me. At that time, Krishna understood that Brahmastra was being released, not one but many, by Ashwatthama. So he took his Sudarshan Chakra and he protected all the Pandavas as well as the embryo who was there in the womb of Uttara. He basically saved Parikshit Maharaj. Thus, when Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Mother Uttara, and then he decided to depart again to Dwarka. At that time, Kunti Maharani, she addressed, she called out to the Supreme Lord, and she offered her very, very sincere prayers. So we saw that how our Kunti Maharani, she offered very heartfelt prayers. So I think so. Three prayers have been covered in the last class, that is 18th, 19th, and 20th, and we'll start with 21 today. So, first of all, we should know what are the aspects of prayers. So, whenever we pray to the Supreme Lord, whenever we pray to our spiritual master, when we write Vyasa Puja offering, there are certain ways that we should follow while praying to the Supreme Lord. And that's what is being explained to us by Kunti Maharani also. It's not that just we go in front of the Lord and we offer our prayers, and we just in prayers we just give out the list. Oh, this is what I'm lacking. Please help me, Lord. This is what I want. We are not supposed to do that. Rather, there is certain protocol that has to be followed when we pray to the Supreme Lord, pray to a spiritual master, or write any Vyasa Puja offering. So what are the aspects of prayers? Is that first is Namaha, offering our obeisances to the Supreme Lord. And Kunti, Mother Kunti, she started. See, text 18. Kunti vacha namasya purusham tvadyam, Ishwaram prakriti param, alaksham sarva bhutanam antir bahir avasthitam. She offered her prayers that you are the original personality of God, and you are the one who is unaffected by the qualities of the material Lord. You are existing both within and without, yet you are invisible to all. And then she says, being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are Adhokshaja. You are eternally an irreproachable factor who is covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. Nato natya dharoyata. You are like a perfect actor. And that perfect actor is playing the role so well that he is not being recognized. So this way she offered her obeisances and then she glorified the Supreme Lord. So these are the two aspects that is covered. That is offering our obeisances and glorifying the Supreme Lord. After that, we will continue with the glorification and offering also, because she doesn't stop there. She again glorifies, she again offers her obeisances. But these are the two main aspects of our prayers. Then third comes our asking our insignificancy, our limitation, our qualification, that we are so insignificant, we don't have any qualification. And that also Kunti Maharani will explain. And then asking forgiveness. If knowingly or unknowingly we have committed something, some aparadh is committed against the spiritual master or the Supreme Lord, whomsoever we are praying to. So we should ask for forgiveness. And then comes the real aspect, that is our request. Ask for service. Asking for service, asking for request, that is our whatever we want. Not exactly the material needs, but again, the service of the Supreme Lord. And finally, we pray that, oh Lord, please use me as an instrument in your service. Willingness to be used as an instrument in the service of the Supreme Lord. So these are the certain aspects of the prayers that we should follow. So we should offer our obeisances, we should glorify the Supreme Lord, we should express our insignificancy, our qualification that we don't have any eligibility. Then we should ask for forgiveness if knowingly or unknowingly we have committed any aparadh. And then we should ask for the request, asking for service. And finally, we should show our willingness to be instrument in the service of the Supreme Lord. These all aspects are covered by Srimati Kunti Maharani. So then what she prays? Finally, in the 20th verse also she says that you yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How can we women know you perfectly? So, in this, what she is doing, she is expressing her insignificancy of being unqualified, of being in a female body. She is expressing that your glories are such that even the great transcendentalists cannot understand you. Then, how can a woman, a person who is a soul that is in a woman body, can know you perfectly? So, then she expresses her eligibility, her disqualification of being in a woman body. So that also we should express. So now we will continue with text 21, where she again glorifies the Supreme Lord, and it's a very famous verse. Famous verse because it also sometimes recited by the speakers as a Mangalacharam verse. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. I think so. This is a memorizing verse. So maybe 3 devotees can take turn in reciting this verse. Yes, Satyam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Thank you. Yes, Nisha Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Padmini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranams. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopaya Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so next verse, maybe Devendra Prabhu, you can recite next verse. So let's continue. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Mataji, you can mute yourself. So now again, she is offering her obeisances. And what she is saying, she is expressing that how fortunate she is that she received the reciprocation of the Supreme Lord. So she is saying, Krishnaya Vasudevaya, that Krishna. So now he is specifying, she is specifying, I'm talking about which Krishna? I'm talking about you, Krishna. I'm offering my obeisances to you, Krishna. That Krishna who is the son of Vasudev Maharaj. So you are the son of Vasudev, and therefore you are known as Vasudeva. And then she brought Devaki. Devaki Nandanaya Cha, you are the son of Devaki. You are the son of Devaki. You came in the womb of Mother Devaki as her son. So she brought Devaki now. She is not saying Yashoda Nandanaya. She is saying Devaki Nandanaya Cha. And there is a specific reason why she brought Devaki. Why she addressing Krishna as Devaki Nandan. And then she says, after that, once you have become the son of Devaki, you were transported to Sridham, Vrindavan Dham. And then, now, who is taking care? Nanda Maharaj. So she's saying, Nanda Gopa Kumaraya. You are the son of Nanda Maharaj. And you are Nanda Maharaj and all the Gopas. You are their son. Why? Because they saw your Kaumarya pastimes. Kaumarya pastimes is the pastimes when the child is around up to 5 years old. After that comes the Kaishora pastime. So she is saying that you are, that will come Pauganda, and after Pauganda comes Kaishora. So she is saying that Nanda Gopakumaraya, so fortunate is Nanda Maharaj, so fortunate is the entire cowherd community who witness your Kaumara pastime. Govindaya Namo Namaha. And not only Kaumara pastime, your Pauganda pastime. Because in Pauganda pastime, when you lifted Shri Govardhan hill on the top of your finger, at that time, Indra came and Indra named you as Govinda. So you are named as Govinda, where Go means cows and Go also means senses. So Vindaya means you brought pleasure to cows, you give pleasure to the senses. Go also means gopis, go also means gopas, go also means Goswamis of Sri Vrindavan. So there are many meanings of go. So she is saying that you are Govindaya, but specifically for the cows and for the senses. Namo Namaha. Again, she is offering her obeisances. So after offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord, what she did, she glorified. She showed her insignificancy of being in a female body, in a woman body. But again, she went back and offered her obeisances. So yes, we can do that because she is overwhelmed with the reciprocation of the Supreme Lord that she didn't want to stop there. And she wants to continue in glorifying the Supreme Lord, in paying obeisances to the Supreme Lord. So therefore, she quoted this verse. Now we will see why she brought Devaki, but before that, let's read the translation. Somebody can read.
Diksha Mataji. Let me therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who has become the son of Vasudeva, the pleasure of Devaki, the boy of Nanda, and the other cowherd man of Vrindavan, and the enlivener of the cows and the senses. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So what she's saying, why she's saying Krishnaya Vasudevaya? Because Krishna is only standing in front of her, but still she is explaining Krishnaya Vasudevaya. Because she's saying that among all the avatars, whatever avatars you have taken, actually you being as Krishna is best. You are the best. Among all the avatars that you have taken, you are the best. Which Krishna? Who is the son of Vasudev Maharaj. They all have prema bhakti. They all are fortunate. Vasudev Maharaj was very fortunate since you selected him as your father. So Vasudevaya, you are the son of Vasudev Maharaj. And then she says, even your mother, who is Devaki, she is also very fortunate. Why? Because you selected her womb alone to be present. You situated yourself in her womb. Thus, you are Devaki Nandan. Devaki Nandan means that you are the son of Devaki, and Anandan means that you also bring pleasure to the womb of Devaki. You give joy to Devaki. And then she brings Nanda Maharaj. She's saying Nanda Maharaj is most fortunate. Why? Because he himself got this experience to taste the sweetness of your Kumara pastimes. So, and you are Nanda Gopa Kumara. Your pastimes, after that comes the Paukhanda Leela. So that time she is saying that you are Govinda. Krishna got the Govinda when he bathed the Surabhi cow. So you are taking pleasure, you're taking possession of all the people, of all the senses of people. And therefore, you are the best. That's what she wants to express. That you are the best. You are Krishnaya Vasudevaya. You are Devaki Nandana. Now, why she brought Devaki? She brought Devaki because she said that Devaki Maharani, you protected Devaki. It will come in the next future verses also, where she says that you have protected Devaki. And when all the 6 children of Devaki, they were killed by Kamsa Maharaj, Still, she was very, very confident. She lamented, of course, losing one child, and especially in that scenario, is not easy. It's not easy to bear. But still, she was able to bear all those sufferings because she knew that you will come, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will come in her womb. So she tolerated just for you to appear in her womb. So, how fortunate she is. But then she is saying, but for me, the reciprocation was locked because you didn't protect the 6 children of Devaki, but you protected me at every step of my life. And not only me, you protected Pandavas, you protected my children at every step of their life. So she's saying, yes, Devaki is fortunate. Nanda Maharaj is more fortunate, but I am also fortunate. She is not comparing in the negative sense, but she is saying, I am so fortunate that you also reciprocated with me. You didn't reciprocate much with Devaki, but you reciprocated with me by protecting my children. So Prabhupada is writing, the Lord thus being unapproachable by any material assets. Yes, the Lord cannot be approached by any material assets. We cannot perceive Lord through our material senses. Therefore, the Lord is known as Adhokshaja. But out of unbounded and causeless mercy descends to this earth. So he is as he is in order to show his special mercy upon his unalloyed devotees and to diminish the upsurges of the demoniac persons. Though you are a Dhokshaja, no one can perceive you, but out of your compassion, you descend. So my Guru Maharaj would always give this example that who has the adhikar, who has the eligibility to become the parent of a Supreme Lord? Who has the eligibility to become a sakha, to become a friend of the Supreme Lord? Because in friendship, what they do, they climb on Krishna's shoulder. So who has the eligibility? No jiva has this eligibility to become the sakha of the Supreme Lord, to become a friend of the Supreme Lord. And then what to talk about to become a parent of the Supreme Lord, where the parent take up the higher position than that of the Supreme Lord, where the Supreme Lord carries the sandals of Nanda Maharaj on his head. Who can accept this position? No one. But if Krishna wants, he comes down and reciprocates with his devotees. And this is because of his unbounded and causeless mercy. He descends, he comes and exchange and do the reciprocation with his devotees and protect his devotees. So Queen Kunti specifically adores this incarnation or descent of Lord Krishna above all those incarnations. She says, your incarnation, you as Krishna, is the best. In Rama incarnation, he remained the king's son from his very childhood. But in the incarnation of Krishna, although he was the son of a king, yet he went and left the shelter of his real mother and father, that is King Vasudeva and Queen Devaki, just after his appearance and went to the lap of Yashodamai to play the part of an ordinary cowherd boy in the blessed Vrajabhumi, which is very sanctified because of his childhood pastimes. So she's saying your incarnation, coming as Krishna, is the best. Therefore, Lord Krishna is more merciful than Lord Rama. He was undoubtedly very kind to Kunti's brother Vasudeva and the family. Had he not become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, she thought that if you have not been the son of Devaki and Vasudeva Maharaj, I could not have claimed you as my nephew. So she could claim Krishna as a nephew because Krishna accepted the womb of Devaki and accepted Vasudeva Maharaj as his father. And Vasudeva Maharaj is the brother of Kunti Maharani. So she's saying, because you accepted Vasudeva Maharaj, I can also claim of my real relationship with you, of being your aunt, and you become my nephew. So in the parental affection, now she is situating herself also in that parental affection. But she's saying Nanda and Yashoda, they are actually more fortunate. Why? Because they could relish your childhood pastimes, which no one could ever relish, which are more attractive than all other pastimes. Of course, Krishna's childhood pastimes are very attractive. There is no parallel to his childhood pastimes as exhibited in Brajabhumi, which are replicas of his eternal affairs in the original Krishna Loka. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirmed that no one is as fortunate as the residents of Rajbhumi, and especially the cowherd girls who dedicated their everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. So this is what verse this is? Anyone knows? Raise your hand. Very famous verse, whatever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Quickly. That no one is as fortunate as the residents of Rajbhumi.
आराध्य भगवान
Yes, go ahead, Divyangi Mataji.
I think Tulsi Gopi Mata is already reciting Mataji.
Okay, Tulsi Gopi Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. आराध्यो भगवान रजेश तनयस तद्धाम वृंदावनम रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधू वर्गेण या कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं प्रमाणम् अमलं प्रेम पुमर्तो महान् श्रीचैतन्य महाप्रभुर्मतमिदं तत्रादरं परम्.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much, Tulsi Gopi Mataji. Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanya. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that my Aradhya Bhagavan is who? He specifies Vrajesha Tanya. Who is the Isha of Raja? The Ishvara, the Lord of Raja is Nanda Maharaj. And his Tanaya, his son, he is the most worshipable form of the Lord. Tad Dhama Vrindavana. And if you want that which Dham, then it's Sri Vrindavan Dham is the most worshipable abode. And in that Dham, who is the most highest pleasing type of worship who offered to Krishna? Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Ya Kalpita. That it's only the gopis who have offered their most worshipable they offered their specific worship to the Supreme Lord, and that's why they are the highest. They give the most pleasing type of worship to the Supreme Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amal Puran, which gives Prema Pumartha Maman. It doesn't talk about the four Purusharthas, that is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, but it talks about the highest, the Panchama Purushartha, that is Prema. And it is spotless. It is Amalam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatradona Para. And this is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's opinion is. Nobody else can explain. So this is actually by Srinath Chakravarti, who explained in his Chaitanya Mattam Manjusha, which is a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confirmed that no one is as fortunate as the residents of Rajbhumi, and specifically the cowherd girls. Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargenaya Kalpita. His pastimes with Nanda and Yashoda and his pastimes with the cowherd men, and especially with the cowherd boys and the cows, have caused him to be known as Govinda. When he lifted Govardhan hill, and after that Mother Surabhi came and bathed, and then Indra named him as Govinda. Lord Krishna as Govinda is more inclined to the Brahmanas and the cows, indicating thereby that human prosperity depends most on these two items, namely Brahmanical culture and cow protection. And Lord Krishna is never satisfied where these are lacking. So this is what the verse is talking about, that she brought Devaki Maharani and she brought Nandagopal. And she is saying that they all are very fortunate because they witness your childhood pastimes. But then she is not keeping herself also alone. So again, she's offering her obeisances, which is again a Mangalacharan verse, and I think so it's a memorizing verse. Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangrehe. Somebody can recite. Three devotees can. Yes, Devendra Prabhu actually raised his hand.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
नमः पंकजाय नाभ्याय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजंग्रहे. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes, Sadamini Mataji. Sadamini Mataji. Mataji, you have to unmute yourself. Okay, Divyangi Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangre.
Thank you. Sadamini Mataji, you want to try?
Hare Krishna Mataji, am I audible?
Yes, now you are.
Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangre.
Thank you. Okay, so maybe next devotees can recite the next verse because we have so many memorizing verses in this chapter. So Namah Pankaja Nabhaya. Now she is saying that I want to pay my obeisances to your navel, the depression in your abdomen. That is the navel, which is like a lotus flower. It's like a pankaja. It's very deep and it's very beautiful. Namha pankaja maline. And then she says, I want to offer my obeisances to your garland that is made up of lotus flowers. Namha pankaja netraya. That your netra, your eyes are also like a pankaja, like a lotus flower. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually mentions that there are two ways to see this. Namha pankaja netraya means your netra, they are so beautiful, perfectly shaped, goes to the corner of your ears, means the shape of your eye, that it is like a shape of a lotus petal. So that's why she says your netras are also like a lotus flower. And another meaning is because lotus gives a cooling effect. So she's saying Pankaja Netraya, one whose glance is as cooling as a lotus flower. So your netra, the shape is also like a lotus flower and it is very cooling as a lotus flower. So Namah Pankaja Netraya. And then she says Namaste Pankajangrihe. Angrihe means your lotus feet. Your lotus feet is also like a pankaj, like a lotus flower. So Pankajangrihe, we have Pankajangri Prabhu. Right? So Pankajangriha means that your lotus feet are also like lotus flowers and they are engraved. So we know that Krishna's lotus feet is also engraved with a lotus flower. Yeah. So you possess the lotus in your feet and your feet are very soft like a lotus flower. So this way she prays. Now she starts with Nabhaya. She starts with the navel. Now, normally it is explained that when we go and see the deities in the temple, or when we see any form of the Supreme Lord, we start with the lotus feet. We then go to the thighs, and then comes the abdomen, then comes the chest, then comes the shoulders, then the neck, and then comes the beautiful face of Krishna, and then finally his crown. So this is how Rupa Goswami has explained in Nectar of Devotion, that this is how we have to see the Supreme Lord. It's not that we enter into the temple and we immediately glance our eyes on the face of the Supreme Lord. No, we should start with his lotus feet. We should glorify, see his lotus feet, beautiful anklets that he wears. Then we go on to his thighs, on which is covered by dhoti, beautiful yellow colored dhoti. Then we come to his thighs, on which there is a very beautiful belt is there. Then we come to his waist, we see a abdomen. And in that abdomen, we see the navel, the beautiful lotus navel of the Supreme Lord. Then comes his chest, which is adorned by beautiful ornaments. Then comes his shoulders, his arms, which are also decorated with armlets. And then comes Krishna's neck, which are engraved with a marking of 3 lines, like the lines on the conch shell, that express that how Krishna's neck is so beautiful. And then comes Krishna's smiling face. And finally, Krishna's turban, on which there is a very beautiful peacock feather. So this is how we have to see the supreme form of the Lord. But now, here, Kunti Maharani is first glorifying the waist of the Supreme Lord, that your waist is so beautiful. Why she starts with the waist? Because of the parental affection, because in the previous verse we saw that she expressed that you have accepted the being the son of Vasudev also gives me the adhikar to be called your aunt, that you are my nephew, I am your bua, because I am related to Vasudev Maharaj and you accepted Vasudev Maharaj, so therefore I am also keeping myself in that parental affection. So when somebody accepts the parental affection and takes the position superior, because in parental affection what happens, though there is service only, the mood is only service. Nanda Maharaj offered his service to Krishna. Mother Yashoda, Mother Devaki, they offered their service to Krishna. But still, because taking that position of Vatsalya Bhav, Krishna becomes subordinate. So now she doesn't want to embarrass Krishna by looking first at his lotus feet. So she says she glorifies his navel, then she glorifies the garland, then she glorifies the netra, the face, the eyes of the Supreme Lord, and then finally she goes and glorifies the lotus feet. So the cycle is completed, but she started with the navel, not to embarrass Krishna, because she was in the parental affection with Krishna. Somebody can read the translation.
My respect.
My respect. Okay, go ahead.
No, bro, please. You go ahead.
Okay, my respectful obeisances are unto you, O Lord, whose abdomen is marked with a depression like a lotus flower, who are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers, whose glance is as full as lotus, and whose feet are engraved with lotuses.
Thank you. Thank you. So here Prabhupada is writing, here are some specific symbolic marks on the spiritual body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that distinguish his body from the bodies of all others. And they are all special features of the body of the Lord. The Lord may appear as one of us, taking Manushya Tanu Ashritam. It looks like that he has also taken the ashraya, the shelter of Manushya means of a human being, but he is always distinct because of the bodily features, especially bodily features that he possesses. Srimati Kunti claims herself unfit to see the Lord because of her being a woman. We saw that in the previous verses. This is claimed because women, Shudras, and the Dvija Bandhus, they are unfit by intelligence to understand this transcendental subject matter concerning the spiritual name, fame, attributes of the Supreme Lord. To such persons, although they are unfit, but still the Lord bestows his mercy. How? He enter into each Such persons, although they are unfit to enter into the spiritual affairs of the Lord, can see him as Archa Vigraha. The Supreme Lord comes as Archa Vigraha to reciprocate with those devotees. And he descends to favor the fallen. He is Patita Pavan, including the women Shudras and Dvija Bandhus. Because such fallen souls cannot see anything beyond matter, the Lord co-descends to enter into each and every innumerable universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And from his lotus like depression in the center of his transcendental abdomen, that is his navel, sprouts the lotus stem. And there comes Brahma, who is the first living being in the universe. Therefore, he is known as Pankajanabhi. So not only that his navel is like deep as lotus, but it is actually lotus because from his navel comes the lotus flower on which Lord Brahma situates himself, finds himself. So the Pankajanabhi Lord accepts this Archa Vigraha. And this Archa Vigraha can be in any form. It can be made up of mind, Manasa Vigraha, can be made of wood, Daru Brahman, can be made of earth, a form of a metal, a form of a jewel, a form made with a paint, a form drawn on the sand, etc. So this is very important. So if we should be very careful. We have seen people writing something on the sand and the waves come and then they take away. So we have to be very particular. Krishna name, Krishna form, they are non-different. So we have seen people wearing some t-shirts with engraved with the transcendental names of the Supreme Lord, like Radha and Krishna. It's not wrong. We are wearing it, but we have to make sure we don't take it to the bathrooms. We don't use it in a contaminated place. Why? Because Krishna, the holy names are engraved on those cloth. So we have to be very, very careful. And especially we have seen people wearing Harinam Chadar. Yes, we are wearing Harinam Chadar. The entire Hare Krishna Mahamantra is written. It's very good. But we have to make sure that when we offer our obeisances, that Harinam Chadar should not touch the ground. We should make sure. For the ladies also, for the Vaishnavis also, I've seen that they are wearing a shawl on which Radhe is written and a peacock feather is made, very famous in Vrindavan. It's good to wear because we are wearing on the upper part of the body and the holy name is written. But while paying obeisances, we have to make sure that that name doesn't touch the earth, because it may get contaminated, because the name and the form of the Supreme Lord, they are non-different. And abhinnatvam nama namino, there is no difference. So we have to be very careful. All such forms of the Lord are always decorated with garlands of lotus flowers. And there should be a soothing atmosphere in the temple of worship to attract the burning attention of the non-devotees who are always engaged in the material wranglings. So now she is glorifying the garland. The meditators worship the form within the mind. Therefore, the Lord is even merciful to the women Shudras and the Dvija Bandhus who do not have this eligibility, that they can picture the Supreme Lord. Because when the Supreme Lord, when we worship him within the mind, it has to be shastric. It's not that through our mental speculation, we speculate the form of the Supreme Lord. That my Supreme Lord is not blue, he's orange in color, or he is red or purple in color, he's wearing magenta dhoti. No, what is all this? We have to be, if we are picturing ourselves in our mind, then it has to be shastric. So now here Kunti Maharani is saying, Prabhupada is also writing, that this form of the Supreme Lord that is made within the mind, it is by those meditators only, those who are pakka in Shastras. Only then their meditation is complete. Where here Kunti Maharani is expressing herself that I am in a female body. I don't have any Shastric education. I have not undergone those Shastras. Now, definitely it's her humility, because the prayers that she offered are much more higher than any prayer that can be offered by any transcendentalist. So she is saying, well, I am such a form, I am such a person in the female body, but still Krishna, he comes. He comes to reciprocate with these people also. Those who are Shudras, those who are in the female body, those who don't undergo the hard study of the Shastras. So here also we have to be very, very particular, because sometimes people get offended when they read that how Prabhupada is equating women to be equal to the Shudras. That means he is degrading the position of a woman. So actually he is not. He is not degrading the position of a woman. But women by nature, they are very emotional. And in the previous ages, the women were not indulged into Shastric studies. So they don't have that Shastric conviction in their heart. So therefore, Prabhupada is saying that they are, because they are not into Shastric study, and because they are not into the deep Shastric study, therefore they are considered to be less intelligent. Less intelligent in the sense that by nature the woman is emotional. So normally she thinks through her heart. Like we saw in the previous chapter, that how Bhima and Arjun want to punish Ashwatthama. But because Draupadi, and Sutta Goswami says, because of his Vama Bhav, because of being in that female body, she was so considerate, she was so compassionate, that she said, no, I don't want Ashwatthama to be killed, because I don't want his mother Kripi to lament in the same way I am lamenting. So this way the woman always takes decision through their heart, which are not always right, because they have some sentiments attached to it. Therefore, the women are taken as less intelligent. It's not that they are degrading the position. Rather, Prabhupada is bringing and highlighting the position of a woman, that how women are so compassionate, they are so tender at their heart, and they are so emotional that they have to be protected at every step of life. And something which is very valuable is only protected. You don't protect iron nails in your home. You don't keep them in the safe locker. Then what you do it is you keep your valuables, your gold, your silver, your diamond, your jewels. You keep them in a safe locker. You protect them because of the nature, the price value. Similarly, women, they are also protected because of the price value of being so emotional, so tender at heart, so compassionate. So this is the glories of a woman. But people, they misunderstand. So we should also be very particular. So when they visit to the temple, because in the previous ages, it's because of Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, that we are receiving Gayatri mantras, and we are receiving the eligibility to go to the temple, to worship the Archa Vigrahas, to study the Shastras, to study Srimad Bhagavatam. But previously it was not open to all the women. So such temple visitors, they are idolaters, as alleged by some men, some with poor fund of knowledge. All the great acharyas, they established such temples of worship in all places just to favor the less intelligent. And one should not pose himself as transcending the stage of temple worship while one is actually category of the Shudras or the woman or less. One should begin to see the Lord. This is how Prabhupada is writing, how we should go and see the Lord, see the Archa Vigraha form of the Lord. We should start from his lotus feet, gradually rising to his thigh, to his waist, to his chest, to his face. And then one should not try to look at the face of the Lord without being accustomed to seeing the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, this is also explained while reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam also, we know that how the first and the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is regarded as the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Third and fourth are the thighs of the Supreme Lord. Fifth is the navel of the Supreme Lord. Sixth and seventh are his shoulders. Eighth is his chest. Ninth is neck. And finally, 10th canto is the face of the Supreme Lord, his Anand, his beautiful face. 11th is the forehead. And 12th canto is finally the turban, or you can say the crown of the Supreme Lord. So this way Srimad Bhagavatam is also divided. So just like we see Archa Vigraha of the Supreme Lord and we start with his lotus feet, similarly while studying Srimad Bhagavatam, which is non-different from Krishna, inviting Srimad Bhagavatam at home is inviting the Archa Vigraha form of the Supreme Lord. They are non-different. So Srimad Bhagavatam also has to be served in the similar fashion. We should not jump to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and see the face, but we should start with his lotus feet. We should start with the first and the second canto, and we should systematically study Srimad Bhagavatam to first understand the supremacy of Lord Shri Krishna, and then finally comes and taste the sweetness of Krishna, which is the 10th canto. So Srimati Kunti, because of being her aunt, being the aunt of the Lord, did not begin to see the Lord from his lotus feet because the Lord might feel ashamed. She doesn't want to embarrass the Supreme Lord. And thus Kunti Devi, just to save a painful situation for the Lord. So she's doing this also for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, that the Supreme Lord should not be embarrassed. For her, it was not an embarrassment. She could start from the lotus feet also, because she considered him as a nephew, but above that, she was also in this Aishwarya Bhav that he is the Supreme Lord. So just to avoid that embarrassment for the Supreme Lord, for his pleasure only, she began to see the Lord above his lotus feet, that is from the waist of the Lord, gradually rising to the face and then coming down to the lotus feet. So there Prabhupada says, in the round, everything is in order, no matter where you start. So she glorifies the lotus feet also later, but it becomes a round. Like we say Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, and then again we start Hare Krishna. So if we go on continuously, it doesn't matter. We start with Hare Rama or we start with Hare Krishna. In round, everything comes in a sequence. Everything comes in an order. So this is how Kunti Maharani prays. Now comes the next verse where she herself now telling the Supreme Lord that yes, I have glorified Vasudev Maharaj, I have glorified Devaki Maharani, but now I am feeling myself also to be very, very fortunate. Yatha Rishikesha Khalena Devaki Kamsena Ruddha Chiram Sucharpita Vimochitam Sasahatmaja Vibho Tvayeva Nathena Muhur Vipatkanat. So she is saying, Yatha Rishikesha, you are the Rishikesh. Rishikesh, Rishi means you are the, Rishi word means senses, and Isha means that you are the master. You are the master of the senses, therefore known as Rishikesha. And you protected whom? You protected Devaki. She was tormented by Kamsa Maharaj. She was imprisoned by Kamsa Maharaj, and she was in great lamentation. But you removed her lamentation by Vimochitaham, by releasing her, by giving her you released her distress by taking her out of that prison house. She was imprisoned by Kamsa Maharaj. She was tortured by Kamsa Maharaj, but you removed all her distress and you released her. Vimochitam, you released. But she is saying, aham. Aham means you released me also. And not only me, Sahatmaja, my Atmaja, along with my children, you released. Tvayeva Nathena Muhur Vipit Ganat. and there is no one like you because you released us from various dangers. For Devaki Maharani, Kunti Maharani is saying that you released her once from that prison house. Yes, she lamented because of the death of all her 6 children, but she was still confident that you are coming. So she was not in that great distress. You protected her. You protected her, but you didn't protect the 6 children of Devaki. And for me, she's saying, I am very much fortunate. Vasudev Maharaj is fortunate, Devaki Maharani is fortunate, Nand Maharaj is fortunate, but I'm more fortunate than anybody else because you protected me, you protected my children also. And not once, but in the series of danger that we have overcome. Every step you protected us. So I feel myself to be the most fortunate. That is how Kunti Maharani is expressing that how Krishna, you are so magnanimous that you reciprocated with us at every step of our life. You protected me, not only me, you protected my children also at every step. So you are the great Nath. Tvaye Nathena Mohor Vipadgana. So constantly I consider you as the only protector, because you protected us, Vipat Ganath, from the series of dangers that we came across. Somebody can read the translation.
O Rishikesha, master of senses and lord of lords, you have released your mother Devaki, who was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious King Kamsa, and me and my children from series of constant dangers.
Thank you. Thank you. So she is saying that you protected me. You protected me when I was helpless, as if I were your also mother. Of course, she is also in her parental affection. So she is saying, you are the master of the senses. You know my heart. You are the master of my heart also, my mind also. And you rescued from every danger, not only me, but you have shown your special mercy on to my children also. You showed that specific mercy onto me by protecting my children. But that reciprocation was not to be shown on Devaki. Because Devaki, you didn't protect her children. What was the reason? She said that I am more afflicted by the sufferings of my karmas. Therefore, I'm more fallen. And when I become more fallen, then that means Krishna protects the fallen. Therefore, he is known as Patita Pavan. So she is saying, I'm more fallen than Devaki. Devaki, she lost her 6 children, but she was still confident that you are coming. Your coming was announced at the time of her marriage. So she was confident that the Supreme Lord will come. But I am going through a lot of my karmic reactions. So I am suffering more than Devaki. And you protected me because you are the Nath. You are the real husband. You are the real master. And that's why you protected not only me, but my children also, when they underwent the series of danger. So this is how she's saying that I am very much fortunate. Prabhupada writes, Devaki, the mother of Krishna and the sister of King Kamsa, was put into prison house along with her husband Vasudev because the envious king was afraid of being killed by Devaki's 8th son. So we know that how this celestial voice came. And finally, it was ascertained that Devaki's 8th son will be the cause of Kamsa's death. So what he did, he killed all the sons of Devaki who were born before Krishna. But Krishna escaped that danger of child slaughter because he was transferred to the house of Nand Maharaj, Lord Krishna's foster father. Kunti Devi, along with her children, was also saved with a series of dangers. But Kunti Devi was shown far more favor because Lord Krishna did not save the other children of Devaki, whereas he saved the children of Kunti Devi. This was done because Devaki's husband Vasudev was living. So Vasudev was alive, whereas Pandu was not alive. Kunti Maharani was a widow, and there was no one other to help except Krishna. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that Krishna endures more favor to a devotee who is in a great danger. Sometimes he puts his pure devotees in such dangers because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attracted to the Lord. And the more the attachment is there for the Lord, the more success is there for a devotee. So this is so important that Prabhupada writes. Classic line for all of us, because we all are daily suffering. Daily we are in that some or the other kind of suffering we are having. So we should see that Krishna is reciprocating. Krishna endowes more favor to a devotee who is in great danger. Sometimes he himself puts his pure devotees in such dangers, because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attracted to the Lord. So it's only when we are in suffering, we remember the Supreme Lord. So sometimes when we become stagnant in our services, when we lose certain kind of enthusiasm in our devotional service, then Krishna gives us suffering. Of course, for us, conditioned souls, we suffer because of our own karmic reactions. We should never think that I am situated in a very pure platform, that now Krishna is intervening. He is personally intervening in my life and giving me suffering, and how fortunate I am. But we should think that yes, Krishna is reciprocating, but I am suffering because of my own karmas. Like Kunti Maharani is saying, she is still being grateful. She is still showing her gratitude to Krishna, that you reciprocated with me, because at every step there was a danger for us, for me, for my children, but you reciprocated and you protected us. So all these sufferings, why we were suffering? Because of our own karmas only, because of our own karmic reactions. But still, Krishna, you are so compassionate, you are so magnanimous that you intervened and you protected us. That's how the devotee should be very, very grateful, even in the reversals of life, because there Krishna is reciprocating with us. And she is saying, sometimes he puts his devotees in such danger because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attached to the Lord. So all these sufferings actually helps us to come closer to the Supreme Lord. Now, there can be certain people, when so many sufferings come, they become averse to the Lord. Situation can come like this also. But if we are fixed in the Shastras, if we are fixed in the verdict of Guru and Sadhu, then we will understand that this helplessness, this suffering that is coming upon us is creating that helplessness, not to become averse to the Lord, but to become more attached to the Supreme Lord. How can that be possible? When our intelligence is properly sharpened by the Shastras, when we are under the proper guidance of our spiritual master. Only then we can perceive the suffering in the right way. Otherwise, we can also become averse to the Supreme Lord. Sometimes when the suffering comes, and devotees are not devotees, but I'll see materialistic people, they are unable to handle. They think enough. They start questioning, why me? But the devotees are not such. They consider that whatever they are suffering is because of their karmic reactions. But at the same time, they still approach to the Supreme Lord. That, oh Lord, whatever I'm suffering is because of my karma. But still, I request you to give me the strength so that I can bear that suffering, or I can perceive this suffering in the right manner. See, Krishna consciousness, at this time and again we have explained that when we signed this contract of Krishna consciousness, at that time there was no marking written there that you will not get sufferings or you will not get distressed. No, That is possible. That is there for the devotees also. But in the contract, it was written that no matter the sufferings come, but the devotee who is 100% surrendered to Krishna will see the suffering in the right manner, will perceive the suffering in the right consciousness. They will see the hand of the Supreme Lord even when they are suffering. Just like here Kunti Maharani is saying that we went through series of danger, but we are so fortunate that you protected us. You didn't protect Devaki because you know that Devaki can handle the situation because she knew that you are coming in her womb as the 8th child of Devaki. So you didn't protect her 6 children because you know that she can handle. But I'm so patita, I'm so fallen that I am without my husband. I have no one who can give me protection. My only shelter was you. Therefore, you reciprocated me in the right manner and you protected me and my sons from the series of danger that we encountered. So this is how Kunti Maharani is expressing her gratefulness, of expressing that how fortunate she is that Krishna has personally come and protected. In the next verse, that is 24th verse, because in this she says Vipad Ganat, that you have protected me from the series of danger. Now, what were the series of the danger? She wants to express this. So she lists out that where in my life you have protected me. Before that, we'll see. What Tulsi Gopi Mataji, you have raised your hand.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, I'm wondering, and I apologize if I missed something, but did you explain the reason why in the Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devki Nandanaya verse, why she did not mention Yashoda, but she mentioned Vasudev, Devki and Nanda Maharaj?
Yeah, she didn't mention Yashoda Maharani because Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that among all, Yashoda was actually most fortunate. So she will bring up Yashoda also in the next upcoming verses. She will bring. But in that verse, she is only comparing herself to Vasudev, Devaki and Nanda Maharaj, that how they are fortunate. But she's saying she herself is also very fortunate because you reciprocate. She didn't bring Yashoda because she is beyond everything. She is the most fortunate. Therefore, she didn't bring.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Thank you. So yes, this is the condition of a devotee when they cry out for Krishna in that helplessness condition. And that is what Prabhupada always says, that we have enrolled ourselves in that crying school. Srimad Gaur Govind Maharaj would always say, you have enrolled yourself in the crying school, better learn to cry, to call out Krishna. And that cry is not a superficial cry. You don't have to show your tears, that your tears should flow from your eyes while chanting. It's your internal feeling, your internal crying, where you cry for separation of the Supreme Lord. In that condition of helplessness, because then Krishna will reciprocate more. So these dangers, these reversals in our life are actually to become more attached to the Supreme Lord, not to become averse to the Supreme Lord. So now she continues in this verse, the series of danger, where she says that this is what we encountered and you saved us. Vishan Mahagne Purushad Darshanad Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Krichatra Mride Mridene Kamaharatha Shastro Draunai Shastras Chasma Hare Virakshita. So you have given Abhirakshita, you have protected us. Not Rakshita, but Abhirakshita. You have completely protected us. From what? Vishan, from the poison. So remember how when they were children, Pandavas were children, Bhima was poisoned by Duryodhana. So she said that you protected when this poison was given to Bhimsen. Maha Agni, then you protected us from this great fire, Maha Agni, when we were in the Lakshagraha. We are in that house that was made up of lac. You protected us. Purushada darshana. You protected us from those man-eaters. Purushad. Purushad means those who eat. Purushad, Ada means those who eat, those who are man-eaters. So who was protected? Bhimsen was protected from Hidimba. So Hidimba was a great Rakshasa. So he was protected, and then later how he married Hidimbi. We all know this. And when they were in Ekachakradham, all these 5 Pandavas, along with Kunti Maharani, there also Bhimsen was protected by Bakasur, who was also a ferocious man-eater. So he says that you actually protected us from poison, from that great fire, from those man-eaters, and Darshanat Asat Sabhaya, and you also protected us from that assembly in which the truth was not prevailing. It was a vicious Asat. It was a false assembly because Draupadi was attempted to be disrobed. So she said that you protected that time also. Vanavas, when we were giving this exile, that time also you protected my children. Krichata. Krichata means the sufferings that comes in that entire period of exile. How Draupadi was again protected when who came?
Mataji, I think Jayadratha came.
Jayadratha, who was the brother-in-law of Duryodhana. He came and wants to kidnap Draupadi Devi. So she was protected. And then Duryodhana sent Durvasa Muni with his 60,000 disciples. At that time also you protected. So now she is saying, so Vishan, Mahagne, Purushad, Asatsabhya, Vanavasa Krichata. And not only that, Mride, again and again, you protected us in the battle. Aneka, Mride, Aneka Maharatha Shastra. All the Shastras, the weapons that were shooted by those Maharathis in the great battle of Kurukshetra, you protected. With every weapon, you protected my sons. And not only that, you also protected from Drauni Ashatra, from the weapon that was released by Drauni, the son of Drona, that is Ashwathama. You protected us from the weapon of Ashwathama by protecting my children as well as the womb of Uttara. Chasma Hare Abhirakshita. Therefore, you, O my Lord, you have protected us completely, Abhirakshita, from these series of danger, right from the childhood till protecting the womb of Mother Uttara. Somebody can read translation.
My dear Krishna, your lordship has protected us from a poison cake, from a great fire, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly, from sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Ashwathama. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. So this is how she lists. Prabhupada writes, the list of dangerous encounters is submitted herein. Devaki was once put into difficulty by her envious brother Kamsa. Otherwise, she was well. She was okay. But Kunti Devi and her sons were put into difficulty after another for years and years together. It was not one time, but the series of dangers were there in the life of Pandavas. They were put into trouble by Duryodhana and his party due to the kingdom. And each and every time the sons of Kunti were saved by the Lord. So if we see the life of Pandavas, it is the total life of suffering. But because they were surrendered, samashrita, they have taken complete shelter unto Lord Krishna saved them. So Bhima was administered poison. Then they were protected from the house of Shalak, and which was set afire. Then once Draupadi was dragged out in that Asat Kuru Sabha, and attempts were made to insult her by stripping her naked in the vicious assembly of the Kurus. And at that time, our Draupadi Devi, she called out, Agre Kurunamata Pandevanam Dushasenartha Vastrakesha. Dushasan, he dragged her with her Vastra, with her Kesha. Krishna Tadoksha Dhananyanatha Govinda Damodare Madhaveti. But our Draupadi Devi, she called to Govinda, Damodar, Madhaveti to protect. And Krishna came as the Sari incarnation and protected the chastity. She protected Devaki Devi. Similarly, when they were exiled in the forest, Bhima had to fight a man-eater named Hidimba Rakshasa, but the Lord saved him. And later he also fought with Bakasur in Ekachakradham. There also the Lord protected. So it was not finished there. After all these tribulations, there was a great battle of Kurukshetra. And Arjun had to meet such great generals such as Drona, Bhishma, and Karna, and all powerful fighters. And at last, even when everything was done, when Yudhishthir Maharaj was enthroned as the emperor of this entire world, then there was Brahmastra that was released by Droni, by the son of Dronacharya, to kill the child within the womb of Uttara. And the Lord saved the only surviving descendant of the Kuru, that is Parikshit Maharaj. This is how she lists. Yes, Tulsi Gopi Mataji.
Mataji, is this Ekachakra the same as the Ekachakra near?
Yes, it's the same where our Nitai was there. Yes, it's the same Ekachakra.
Thank you, Mataji.
So now, after listing out all these great dangers, she now says, because in the previous Prabhupada says that the sufferings is cause to the devotees, it actually brings more attachment to the Lord when the devotees are helpless. So now, this attachment is good or bad? This attachment is good because it is for the Supreme Lord. It is that asakti is not towards the material things, not towards the material possession, but this is a transcendental asakti. This is a transcendental attachment that is for the Supreme Lord. And how it is coming? It is coming because of the helplessness when the devotee feels, the sufferings that when is implicated on the devotees. So this suffering is what? This suffering is actually a blessing. Because of this suffering, we are able to remember the Supreme Lord more and more. So it is not bad, it is good. So when reversals comes in life, what we have to see? That yes, Krishna is still protecting me because this is giving us the opportunity to cry out more and more for the Supreme Lord. And that increases our attachment. So therefore now Kunti Maharani is praying. She's praying for that calamities to come more and more. I think so. Again, this is a memorizing verse. So three devotees can take turns. Vipada santuta shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhava darshanam. Yes, Param Bhavani Mataji.
Hare Krishna, dear Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Bipadat santutah sasvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhava darshanam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Shama Gopal Prabhu. Shama Gopal.
Vipada santutah shashwatatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yasyada punarbhava darshanam.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Jai Lakshmi Mataji.
Vipata sandata sasvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darsanam yatsyat abunad bhava darshanam.
Thank you. So now she is saying, Vipada, let those calamities, Santu, Da Shashvat, may those calamities be eternal in my life. Who can pray like this? None of us want those calamities or sufferings to come in our life. We are not on the level of Kunti Maharani where we pray for those suffering. Here Kunti Maharani is praying because she wants the eternal remembrance of the Supreme Lord. So she is saying, better was the time when those calamities were on us, because you were present every time to save us, to save me, to save my children. But now when everything is settled, now when even the last descendant of that Kuru dynasty, Parikshit Maharaj, is saved, now you are leaving us, you are going to Dwarka. So I don't want that. Better were those times when those calamities were there. At least you were there with us. You were there to save us. So Vipada Santuta Shashvat. Oh Lord, let there be those calamities again and again. Shashvat, eternally let those calamities be there on us. Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Oh Lord of the universe, you are Jagat Guru. I'm pleading you that please let there be the sufferings, because when sufferings were there, we were able to see you at every step of our life. We can feel your protection. So let those calamities be eternal in our life, so that we eternally get your remembrance, we eternally get your association. Bhavato darshanam tatsya, because when we see your darshan, when we have your darshan, when we see your form, we see your hand in every aspect of our life, it is much better. So in calamities, in that Vipada, Krishna was giving his darshan. Krishna was giving his presence. He was always there to show that to Pandavas that he is there for them, and he protected them. So she is saying in those vipada, in those calamities, seeing you is far better than apur bhava darshanam, than taking then seeing our repeated lives in our repeated birth and death. Apunar bhava darshanam, rather seeing the apunar bhavan means taking birth, life after life, that is far more inferior than to see the Supreme Lord in calamities. So she's saying, I don't want liberation from this cycle of birth and death, because when I get liberated, I'll not be able to see you. That's her feeling is. But now she's saying, when I'm in calamity, when I'm in suffering, I'm seeing you at every step. So let this calamity be eternal, be in our life. So this is how the mood of Kunti Maharani is. Of course, we are nowhere to pray like this, but this is the stage. This is the stage of Kunti Maharani. So especially when people say that why Prabhupada said woman as a poor fund of knowledge, we should show that Prabhupada didn't mean this. Only shastrically he was saying, because the women were not in the Shastras, but actually the women are very great. We have example of Draupadi Devi, we have the example of Uttara, we have the example of Kunti Maharani. How great personalities are there. Who can pray like this, Kunti Maharani? Who can pray that, oh, this sufferings may become eternal in my life? No, because if it becomes eternal, it is a high tendency that we become averse to Krishna. Because we keep asking Krishna, why me? Why only me? We keep asking this to Krishna. Our faith gets shaken. We face a lot of challenges in our life. But it is only personality like Kunti Devi who can pray that let this Vipada be Shashvat, be eternal in my life, because then I will be able to have your darshan. Somebody can read translation.
I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths.
So this is also one way of understanding that she's saying what Prabhupada brings is that for seeing you again and again, we will no longer see this repeated birth and death. Apunar bhavam darshanam. So either we can have darshan of the repeated cycle of birth and death, or we can have darshan of the Supreme Lord. But once we have darshan of the Supreme Lord, there is less chances that we come in this repeated cycle of birth and death. Another way to understand is that this Kunti Maharani is saying, let me not see Let me not see this repeated cycle of birth and death. Why? Because I'm happy in this life, and let these calamities be eternal in my life so that I can always have your remembrance. I can have always your darshan. Thank you, Nisha Mataji. So Krishna consciousness, what we have seen is that it doesn't guarantee the stormless sea, but what Krishna conscious guarantee is the unsinkable boat. So I think so in Bhakti Shastri class and in another class, we were also mentioning that when we are in this Bhavasagar, this ocean of nuisance, this ocean of material existence, the only shelter we have is to be in that boat, the boat of Krishna consciousness, in which Srila Prabhupada is the captain, who is safeguarding that boat. Now, when we are in that middle of the storm, if we decide to jump off that boat, it is our fault. It is not somebody else's fault, because it's our decision that we make to jump off the boat. But if we stick to the boat, then no matter how many storms come, how many turbulations can come in that ocean, still we will be protected. Yes, there will be some turbulations. There will be some problems in the boat. But if we stick to stay in that ship, to stay in that boat, which is unsinkable, and that is what Prabhupada has guaranteed. This boat of Krishna consciousness is not like a Titanic that was drowned in its maiden voyage. But this ship is an unsinkable ship. This Prabhupada has guaranteed. So even though the problems come, even though the sufferings will come, even though the calamities may come, but if we stick to the boat of Krishna consciousness, then Prabhupada, as a captain who is steering the ship, will protect us at every cost. So this is what Krishna conscious guarantees. Sometimes people say that, oh, after becoming a devotee, actually I'm seeing a lot of problems in our life. Of course you will see, because now what is happening? The cleaning is happening. So when there is a dark room that you have not cleansed for ages, means for years you have not entered the room. So the dust is there. The entire room is dusty, right? But we don't see the dust because the dust has settled down for the years. But when you start cleaning, then what happens? The dust comes out and the entire room becomes dusty. Because now what is happening? The cleaning process has started. So the more the cleaning process happens, the more we see reversals in our life. But what we have to understand, that this cleaning process is to clean me. For my purification only, these reversals, these sufferings are coming in my life. So this is the right perspective to see the sufferings in our life, which Krishna consciousness guarantees us. So Krishna consciousness guarantees us that yes, sufferings are always there. This is dukkhalayam. You cannot avoid suffering. But when you join Krishna consciousness, when you are conscious of the Supreme Lord, of Krishna, at that time you will see these suffering in the right perspective. Sufferings will come, but our perception to see the suffering will change. And the strength we will gain by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada, he writes in his purport, generally the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the inquisitive, who have performed some pious activities, worship or begin to worship the Supreme Lord. So we know this verse, Chaturvida bhajate mam jnana sukritino Arjuna. They are sukritinos. Who are those people? Artho, those who are distressed. Jignasu, those who are inquisitors. Artharti, those who are desiring for the wealth. And Jnanis, those who are running after the Supreme Lord, those who want to know about the Supreme Lord. They are the four people who are being worshipped by the Lord, and they all are magnanimous. Yes, they are not or situated on the pure devotional platform, but Krishna says that they are magnanimous because they are approaching me only with all their problems. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme Lord of being misled by the illusory energy. Krishna says, I don't reveal myself to all those miscreants. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamities, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. This Shravanam, this Smaranam will actually lead to liberation. Therefore, even though there are so-called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. Now, why Prabhupada says so-called calamities? Because these are not so-called calamities that we suffer. We really suffer when we have those problems. But why we suffer? Because we are in the bodily conception of life. If we see the vastness of Krishna consciousness, then we'll realize that what is my position? I'm such an insignificant soul, but I see my suffering as a Mount Meru, my ego as Mount Meru. But actually, Prabhupada says that these sufferings are so-called calamities. Agama paino nityas. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitosna sukha dukkada. Agama paino anityastam stitikshvasa bharata. Krishna says that these problems will come, Arjun. You are in the situation of dukkhalayam. These problems will come, but these problems will come and go. Agama paino anityas, because they are not eternal. Today you are feeling happy, tomorrow distress will come. Today you are feeling distress, tomorrow some happiness will come. This is just like a summer and a winter season. It comes and it goes. It comes in a cyclic form. It comes and goes. And again winter comes. And again summer comes. And again winter comes. It goes on and on. And if you keep lamenting for this, what's the point? It is anityam. It is temporary. It is there only for a certain phase. In this regard, I'm just remember again when there is a very beautiful story between Akbar and Birbal. So again, Akbar told Birbal that you tell me, write one sentence on a wall. When I get solace after reading that sentence. I am happy when I'm in distress, means I become happy. I get enthused when I'm in some problem and I read that sentence. I should feel happy. And I should feel suffering or some pain if I read that sentence in happiness. So the sentence should be the same. But if I read it in happiness, I should feel little distress. But if I read it in distress condition, then I should feel happy. So Birbal wrote, "Ye samay bhi nahi rahega," means this time is not eternal. So now when Akbar will read that sentence in happiness, when he's very happy, and he'll read that sentence that this happiness will not long last, naturally he'll feel some kind of distress that, oh, this happiness will be taken away from me. And when he will read this sentence in a distress condition, then he will get some solace that yes, samay bhi nahi rahega, means that this time is not eternal. This suffering will also go away. So therefore, he says that yes, therefore, even though the so-called calamities, yes, these are so-called calamities because they are not shashwat, they are ashashwat. They are welcome because they give us the opportunity to remember the Lord. Once who has taken the complete shelter of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes that is made by the hoofs of a calf. Again, this famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, the prayers of Brahma.
Honoring the pure devotees of the Lord. But this is a truly thought-provoking subject. How to honor.
I thought Shama Gopal Prabhu is adding something or asking some question. Okay, sorry. Yes. So what is this verse? Samashrita ye pad phallava plavam mahat padam punyo yasho murare bhavam budhir vatsa padam param padam yat padam natesham. Samashrita. When we take complete shelter, samashrita. Ashrita means to take shelter. Samashrita means complete shelter. Complete shelter of what? The lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Then these lotus feet actually becomes the boat. Mahat punna padam punyo yasho murare. And then what happened? This entire material existence, which is right now in the form of ocean, it becomes bhavam budhir vatsapadam. It becomes the puddle that is made from the footprint of a calf, not even a cow. Vatsapadam, calf ka footprint. And we are able to cross. Who can not? Even a small child, a kid can also cross that puddle, jump over that puddle. But provided we have taken complete shelter of the Supreme Lord. Padam padam yat vipadam natesham. At every step there is a danger. You cannot avoid it. So the material world is certified by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place. Dukkhalyam ashashvatam. Less intelligent persons, they prepare plans to adjust to those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place itself is full of calamities. We try to adjust. They have no information of the Supreme Lord abode, who is always, which is full of bliss and without trace of calamity. Therefore, it is known as Vaikuntha, whereas there is no Kuntha. The duty of the sane person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by the worldly calamities because they are anityam, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in spiritual realization because that is the mission of human life. If we are disturbed by so-called suffering, then we lose the aim of our human life. The aim of human life is to tolerate. Tam stitikshva samharata. We should tolerate those sufferings. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, Prabhupada writes so-called calamities. Because those calamities we see eternal if we are in the bodily conception of life. Therefore, the so-called calamities, they are called false. A man can, here Prabhupada is giving an example. A man can see a tiger swallowing him in a dream and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dream. And how can we save this person who is seeing a tiger in his dream, swallowing him and crying out for this calamity? How can we save that person? By waking him up. We cannot bring any kind of solace to that person till the person is sleeping, because the person is in his dreams, and in his dreams he is seeing that the tiger is swallowing or he is drowning in that ocean. No amount of ship, boats, or rescue people we can send. Why? Because the person is sleeping. The only way we can help that person to get out of that calamity is to wake that person. Wake him up. Therefore, Jiva Jago, Gaura Chandra Bhumi said, wake up. How long you're going to sleep in the lap of Maya? So wake up, sleeping souls, Jiva Jago. In the same way, all the calamities of life are said to be dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord of any of the 9 devotional service is always a step forward on the path going back home, back to Godhead. So Kunti Manani here is repeatedly praying for those calamities, because in those difficult times, she was able to remember Krishna. And when everything goes well, people naturally, they tend to forget the Supreme Lord. But in distress, they turn to him with sincerity, with enthusiasm, that, oh Lord, please help me. So here Kunti Maharani is also saying, because she thinks that suffering is actually humbling her. It brings humility in her. It breaks our false ego, and it purifies us. And above all, what happens? we take exclusive shelter of Krishna. Samashrita yad pad pallava padam. We take exclusive shelter. So when suffering comes, what all happens? First of all, it brings humility in us. It humbles us. It breaks our false ego. It breaks our ahankar. It tells us, it shows us our real position, a real insignificant position we are in. It purifies us. And finally, it gives us the opportunity to take exclusive shelter of Lord Shri Krishna. But in today's world, what we see is just the opposite. We are so conditioned that we see this suffering to be eternal. And we don't have the higher vision like Kunti Maharani. And we think and we start asking the Lord, why me? Why me? But rather asking the Lord in the problems, in those sufferings, that why me, we should pray to the Lord, oh Lord, please help me so that I can remember you more and more in these problems, in these reversals. So this pain that we feel in the reversals of life, it brings some purification in our life. So what all happens? It humbles us, it destroys our false ego, it brings purification, and finally it gives us the opportunity to take exclusive shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. I wanted to cover the next verse also, but it's already time. So we'll cover it from verse number 26 next time, means on Thursday. Okay, so we'll stop here. Let's see if we have any quick questions, comments, any realizations, corrections. Yes, Satyam Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thanks for the nice class as usual. And my humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees here. Mataji, so in Kunti Maharani's prayer, she mentioned about different calamities, give examples. So if we tell this to someone and someone say, okay, then how about like when those 5 sons of Draupadi was killed, or even Abhimanyu were killed? So why Krishna didn't save them? So protect them. Then how do we answer?
Yeah. So very nice question, Prabhu. We have to understand that first of all, what Kunti Maharani was praying, she was praying for the protection, and she said that you protected me and my children at every step. But why those sufferings are coming? Because of her own karma bhi, because of her own karmic activities. So she has that mindset. Now, Krishna's protection doesn't come always as protection. So not protecting Abhimanyu was also the plan of Krishna. Not protecting the other sons of the Pandavas was also the plan of Krishna, because he wants Parikshit Maharaj to emerge as the next emperor. And then not saving Parikshit Maharaj. So Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Uttara. He could have saved from that Takshak also, from that snake bird, but he didn't, because he wants Srimad Bhagavatam to come. So Krishna's protection is not always what the conditioned soul thinks to be a protection. Giving the example again and again of Nalakuvera and Manigrava, how they were cursed by Narad Muni. They were cursed by Narad Muni and they became the trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, where they witness all the beautiful childhood pastimes of Krishna, which is so difficult to witness by anyone. But they were the recipient. They were the recipient of the mercy of Narad Muni, by which they can see the childhood pastimes of Krishna. And when they were delivered, they immediately went to Golok Vrindavan as Snigdha Kanta and Madhukanta, where they are reciting these childhood pastimes till today in the assembly of Nanda Maharaj in the eternal Goloka Vrindavan. So had they not been cursed by Narad Muni, they would have not become Snigdha Kanta and Madhukanta. So they became because it was the mercy of Narad Muni. So this is how we have to see that when problem comes, it is for our betterment, for our upliftment. Indradumna Maharaj was cursed by Agastya Muni. If he would have followed his path as Indradumna, it would have taken him lifetime to go to the eternal abode of Lord Shri Krishna. But immediately when that curse came, he became a Gajendra. And in his life as Gajendra, when he was attacked by crocodile, he offered his beautiful prayers. And in that life, Krishna personally came. And still his name is there in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, where we recite this Gajendra Moksha, how he was liberated. So Krishna's protection never comes as protection we feel as being in conditioned soul. Sometimes reversals in our life is also the protection of Krishna. So that kind of understanding we should have. And another way to understand is that Kunti Maharani doesn't want to embarrass Krishna by listing of where she didn't feel protection. Of course, she is not at the stage where she is saying, she is thinking that even by killing, by Ashwathama being killed, by Karna being killed, by the Pandavas being killed, actually it's Krishna's protection. But a conditioned soul may feel, but Kunti Maharani is not on that stage. She doesn't want to remind Krishna of where she didn't feel any protection. She doesn't want to embarrass. Sometimes we also have to imbibe this. At some reversals comes, we should not say, Krishna, hey, this is the time you didn't protect me. This was the time you didn't protect me. Rather, what good he has done, we should see, we should claim that, oh Krishna, yes, this is the time you protected me. This is the time you protected me. And what we are not seeing as a protection, we will see as a protection, but the time has to reveal it. So the time has to reveal. So Kunti Maharani is not pointing out. Why? Because the glories of Parikshit Maharaj has to come out. The glories of Srimad Bhagavatam has to be established, which she didn't know. So she doesn't want to embarrass Krishna at any point of time. Therefore, she is listing only those series of danger that they encountered and Krishna protected them. But as a conditioned soul, as a sadhaka, as the receptor of Bhagavatam, as a student of Bhagavatam, we should understand that Krishna's protection is not always the protection that we feel. Sometimes reversals in life also means Krishna's protection in our life. Hope that helps, Satyam Prabhu.
Mataji, thank you very much. Such a nice answer. Nicely explained.
Thank you. Yes, Shama Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry for that interruption.
No,
Actually,
no, no.
I had
No.
and thank you for the class, and it was thank you for the class. It was a great explanation of many verses. In this, the dream of that man who is eating, who has been eaten. So I always had a thought process, like, this is this material world where we are living is actually called as a not unreal, right, in a way, in the Shastras. So is this a dream which are living, or the transcendental world where Krishna we are going to serve, is that a dream? Like, what is that is a satya, right? So that is actually is a satya, but this is hallucination. So we may be sitting there and we are going through all this suffering till remember Krishna and we understand that is our position, that serving him, then we'll wake up, right? That is how it is, or it is
Yes.
actually we are.
No, we are not. So yes, this world is not mithya. It is not false. It is true only. But this world is a temporary world. Right from the start, the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam explains, Tejo vari mritam yatha vinamayo. So what it says is that this world, what we see, is not false. That is the conception of Mayavadis, where they think Brahma Satya and Jagan Mithya. This Jag is not Mithya. This material world is not false, but it is temporary. So whatever we have in this world, whether the happiness or the sufferings, Sukha or Dukkha, it is all temporary. It is not eternal. Eternal is our sambandha with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eternal is his abode. Eternal is his qualities, his pastimes. Rest everything what we experience in this world is because of our own covering of ignorance and ahankar. So we have decided to be imprisoned in this prison house, because of which we are feeling that suffering. So yes, those calamities are there. We have to tolerate those calamities, but those calamities are not eternal. That's how we have to feed our mind, that it is not eternal. This is ashashvat. This is temporary. It will come, it will go. But what is permanent is my relationship with my Supreme Lord, my sambandha gyan with my Supreme Lord. That is eternal. That will not fade away. But till the time we are in the bodily conception of life, we feel the calamities to be eternal, and we feel that going to Vaikuntha is just a hallucination. But it's actually other way around. Going to Vaikuntha, going to the abode of the Supreme Lord, going to Krishna Lok is actually eternal and is the eternal prayojan, is the ultimate aim of this human form of life. So we should aspire and we should work for it. All the calamities and the suffering that we face in this world is because of our own karmas only, is because of our own karmic reactions, and we have to tolerate. The more we tolerate, the more we become the candidate for Krishna's anukampa, for Krishna's compassion. Tattva anukampa susakshamanam. We have to tolerate with our rid, vag, vapu, with our heart, with our speech, with our body. We have to tolerate everything that comes in our life, but we have to see it in the right perception. Therefore, Prabhupada says, it's what we are experiencing in this world is like a dream. Like a dream, when in the dream we feel that I'm drowning in the ocean or the tiger is swallowing me. I'm feeling so much of calamities. I'm crying out for those calamities, but nothing can help. Nothing can help. No one can help. Then who can help? Only a spiritual master or a person who is beside with that sleeping person can wake him up. And then as soon as he's woke up, all the suffering's gone. Similarly, the spiritual master, he wakes us. He wakes us who are sleeping souls, who are sleeping in the lap of Maya and taking everything as to be eternal, that this is my life, that's it. My distress and my calamities, and these are eternal, I can never come out of it. This is the ignorance that we are in. Or those who are happy feels, oh, I'll be always happy eternally. This is the ignorance they are in. So Krishna puts us into such condition to experience us, to help us to experience that this is not the eternality. This is not eternal. It is like a dream that we are experiencing. So therefore, spiritual master comes and sings, Jiva Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole. He wakes up from this ignorance. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya. With his torch of knowledge, he removes that ignorance, where we see that this suffering in a right perception, that it is through my karma, I have to bear, I have to tolerate, and I have to move forward in the remembrance of Krishna. Hope that helps.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So we have to, I have to wake up from the dream, right?
Yes, we have to wake. But that wake up can only be done by our spiritual masters.
Right, yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Yes, Param Bhavani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, and you. Mataji, so most of the time I feel like I'm always in danger and I'm always crying, for help. And I feel like I'm not a devotee because I feel like I'm always, seeking help from Krishna and like an artha, and how I should see my situation. Like of course I'm not a devotee, but how I can try to be a devotee from that artha mentality, like seeking always Krishna protect me. Oh Krishna, I'm like my experiment failing, my PI is selling this, that, someone is selling this, that. So how I should, get out from that panic mode to, a loving mode. I want to have a nice relationship with Krishna that I used to have when I was with my parents, But
yes,
here,
you are a devotee. Don't think that you are not a devotee. You are a devotee. And all these things, they are on an ideal situation. Okay. So we are right now in the sadhaka stage. So this is for the Atma Sakshatkar people, those who have the self-realization, that they feel that, okay, these sufferings are not eternal and our relationship with the Supreme Lord is eternal. But we have to come up to that stage. And we have to come in this sadhak deha only. In this body itself, we have to come and rise up to that platform where this honor, dishonor, labha, which means this gain, profit, loss, it doesn't bother us anymore. So how we come to that stage is taking shanay, gradual steps towards Lord Shri Krishna. It's not, the Rome was not built in a day. It's not a one-day process that today I hear Srimad Bhagavatam and tomorrow I will see all my suffering as the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Or I will not be affected by so-called calamities in my life. I will be affected. Till the time I am in this bodily conception of life, until the time we are in this sadhak deha, we will experience, but gradually with a prayerful attitude, we can pray to Krishna. Oh Krishna, please help me. As you say that you are feeling some distress and then you approach Krishna, that's the right way. There is no problem. Even if we have some problems, we plead to Krishna. Oh Krishna, please help me. There is no problem at all. But we have to take up into consideration that for small petty things, we don't have to go and tell Krishna. Like a parent, like a child will not tell his father, oh, today you provided me bread and butter. I hope you'll provide me for tomorrow also. I hope you have arrangement for day after tomorrow also. How ungrateful that child will be, that the father will become frustrated. What is this? I have given my whole earnings, my whole life to you, and now you are questioning me. Similarly, Krishna is Sukhrit Sarvabhutana. He is the ever well-wisher of all the living entities. Forget about human. Are we the one who are feeding the elephants in the jungles? Are we the one who are feeding the lions? Who are feeding to these birds, to these reptiles? Krishna is making arrangement. So we also have to think that Krishna will protect me no matter what. Avashya Rakshive Vishwasapalana. This is the limb of Sharanagati that a sadhaka should have, that my Krishna will protect me no matter what. He will give me protection. Now, as to Sham Gopal Prabhu, I was explaining that protection may not be always what we feel is the protection. Times Krishna can throw reversals also. But we have to understand that those reversals are also a kind of Krishna's protection. That's a blessing in disguise. But it's a wide perspective. It will open on its own, but we have to be patient and we have to tolerate. So as you said that sometimes you have some peer pressures or some problems in lab or somewhere in college, it's okay. You can go and approach Krishna. Krishna says even those who are arthas, artharthis, they are also magnanimous. Though they are sakam bhaktas, they have certain kamnas. That's why they are approaching me. But they are also magnanimous. They are sukritinum. They are pious people because they know whom to approach. They are not going to some other demigods. They are coming to me only. So they are also magnanimous, Krishna says. But we are not always to be on that level of Sakam Bhaktas. Slowly, gradually, we have to move and we have to cry out for Krishna's longingness. That hankering should be not for removing the distress of our this life, but the real hankering should be to remove us from this entire cycle of birth and death and situate ourselves in your Krishna Loka. Like Gajendra, previously he was praying that, oh, this crocodile has caught me and now I want to get released. He called out to his she elephants, to all his children elephants, but nobody was there to help him out. They tried their level best, but ultimately who protected? Krishna. When Gajendra called out to Krishna, helpless condition he called out. So Krishna came as Lord Hari and protected Gajendra. But Gajendra, he was first crying that please remove me from this shackles of this crocodile. But ultimately, when he was offering his prayers, Gajendra came to a position where he says, forget about removing the shackles from this crocodile. I want to be removed completely, vimut Vimuktanam. Give me mukti, not only from this crocodile, but from the clutches of this material existence. Because now my other family members are also not able to protect me. So whom I should approach to? Only shelter is Lord Shri Krishna. But this will happen gradually. The more we pray, the more we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, more we take instructions of a spiritual master very seriously, the more we'll progress and the more we'll realize that how to pray, what to pray, and whom to pray. Yes.
True, Mata. The mode of prayer should be improved from that artha level to like little bit matured sadhaka level. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Yes, Satyam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So, just connected to the question or the discussion, and such a nice way you explained, Mataji. Even like today, what we read, Uttara, she ran and asked for protection. Think about whether I'm like a pure devotee or not. Like this is, and throughout, even like all Pandavas, they always reached out to Krishna for protection whenever there is a problem and stress, right?
Yes. So there is go ahead.
As you said, Mataji, and also Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there's no problem there. So whoever reaching out to Krishna, even for protection or help, it's like pious people anyway. Like even though there is some expectation, but yeah, but that's one level better than like not going to Krishna or like thinking like I am the king of the world.
Yes, akama sarvakama moksha kama tirena bhakti yogina purusham param. That we have to approach to the Supreme Lord. Even we have kamna or we don't have kamna or we want liberation, anything, but we should approach Krishna. And that intelligence will be given by Krishna himself the more we pray. Yeah, thank you, Satyam Prabhu. Yes, Padmini.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, you have a question, Satyam Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Like, so we see throughout Bhagavatam, like you mentioned, Gajendra liberated, he became someone in the Vaikuntha Loka, right? Is there any mentioned in any scriptures about the Pandavas? I know Arjuna and Krishna, like eternal, like
No,
Nara.
it's not eternal. They are the real associate of the Supreme Lord. So they have karmas. No, they came for a specific reason, and Krishna showed that specific reason through the Pandavas. So that's how we have to understand that. How Mahaprabhu also says, right, in his in Chaitanya Bhagavat, I think so. This is the verse that Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Priya Bhakta Dware Annera Dilena Shiksha Eita Prakare. That Krishna uses his own Priya Bhaktas only to set an example for the common men. So what Pandavas they underwent was not their karmic reactions. Why? They were the dear associates of Krishna. So dear associates of Krishna, they come only for the specific reason to perform a specific leela, and Krishna uses them as an instrument. Annera dilena shiksha aita prakare, just to teach the common men how you should behave. So now when the calamities will come on us, we can relate that how much Pandavas they felt. Were they at fault? Was Draupadi Devi at fault? The way she got humiliated, the way the Pandavas were cheated? No. But it was not their karmas also, because they are dear associates. But they came to teach us that when reversals comes in our life, how do we have to take it and how can we approach to Krishna? So Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Priya Bhakta Dware, through his own dear devotees, he put those devotees as an instrument, Dilena Shiksha Eita Prakare, to give Shiksha, to give teachings to all other men, common in general. Thank you,
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Padmini.
Mataji, it is getting late, or can I ask some
Yeah,
time?
yeah, go ahead. See, those who want to leave, they are more than welcome to leave.
Mataji, why I wanted to ask is a small suggestions from your side. Like when we every day when we face so many challenges, in the morning we get up and pray, do Mangalacharan, and then we surrender to God, and only we go out to take the day as a devotee. But then during in the process of the day, we are to face so many things, expected and unexpected issues. But the issue is that at that time when we are facing some issue, that time we are not able to remember Krishna Mataji. We push ourselves to look for a solution because we are so stressed up. And we believe that because we surrendered in the morning anyway, Krishna will take care. But how to train the mind to think even at that point, we are not able to do. At least I am not able to do that, Mataji, despite the training, whatever we take.
Practice.
How to even at that point we don't. The two things stop me from doing. Then like you said, every time you can't be going till Krishna protect me, because you have to endure it. But then after some things happen like that, oh, I should have called him for help. Then I wouldn't have had this problem. This kind of mindset. It is more like a mind. I know, Mataji, mindset is the problem for all the issues that we are facing.
Yes. The more we
We have to
practice.
put Krishna in Chitta. We read it, but do we really? How people like you? I mean, the senior devotees like you manage such situations. That is what I thought I can ask you.
So the only thing is practice, Mataji.
Okay.
Because if there is any calamity, we should exclusively take shelter. And how that shelter, that point of remembrance of Krishna comes is again practice. Rupa Goswami says, never there should be a time where we forget Krishna, and never there should be time where we don't remember Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So it's actually one and the same statement. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. It's one. But he says this twice. Why? Because he wants to emphasize on this. That no matter what, we have to remember Krishna and we should never forget Krishna. And the real test is that when at the time of reversals in our life, at the time of calamities in our life, the real test is that at that time we remember Krishna. See, remembering Krishna and when everything goes happy-go-lucky in our life is not a big deal, because at that time we are not remembering him through our heartfelt feelings. But we are just remembering, okay, Krishna is there, I'm doing my 16 rounds, I'm doing my japa, I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's it. But the real test comes when there is a reversals in our life. At that time, we have to prove ourselves that, see, Krishna, now I'm calling you in my helpless state. And the more the problems come, the more we become helpless, and the more we think that this place is not worth living, and my only shelter is Lord Shri Krishna. So again, it's not that we should pray for more reversals, but at least we can pray to Krishna that please help me at every aspect of my life, no matter what, but my remembrance should not go away. I should always remember you. That prayer that we should make, no matter the Maya can attack me in whatever.
The prayer we should include. Yes,
that prayer we should include, that never there should be a time where I should forget you.
Nice, Mataji. That is the bottom line. You have to include that prayer in the morning, that anything can happen, but I should not forget you. Please remind me that I should think of you, should be the...
Yes.
Yes.
And Krishna is very merciful. He is not the person who is taking the stick in his hand. He says, even if you don't remember me, I'll make you remember. Krishna is very, very merciful. Okay.
Yeah, that is in connection to Gajendra, the question also, because Gajendra fought for years before he could come to that line to say, you are the ultimate. Now, first he started protect me from crocodile. And finally he said, I don't want all these things because nobody's going to help me. That took so many years, no, Mataji, before even he could call for Hari. That's what the literature we study.
Yes, of course.
So that is the practice. That is
Okay.
linked to the practice that you mentioned, right?
Yes, that is linked to the practice, because who was he? He was Indradyumna in his previous life. King Indradyumna. Therefore,
even for him, it took so much of time to realize. This means what are we, dust of a dust can think of all these things, but at least a realization we can start. Like you said, a prayer. Please, throughout the day, any calamity occurs, please make me remember you, and then I get the best. That kind of prayer we can add.
Of course, that kind of prayer we should add. And also, Padmini Mataji, we should also think that sometimes when we think, oh, I'm so insignificant, and see all these great personalities in Bhagavatam, what hope do I have? I have nothing in my life. I'm not a great scholar. I'm not a Shastric person. I'm not a good chanter. I don't have that prayerful mood. We can feel ourselves insignificant in that case, but that should be a positive insignificancy that we should have. If we become depressed, if we become if you don't get enthused with that insignificancy that we have, then that is also a problem. See,
That is the difference
on
between
its own,
humility and this. You can have humility, but you should not be otherwise. Right?
it should not go into a depression mode kind of thing. Like for an ant, example is being given that an ant on its own cannot go and climb the altar and worship the Supreme Lord. It's impossible for the ant to go. But if the same ant is stuck to some dhoti of some Prabhu or to a sari of a Vaishnavi, can go on the altar also and be the part of worshipping Krishna, assisting Krishna, and dressing Krishna. So same way, we are those insignificant ants that on our own, if we try, we have no sadhana, we have no eligibility, we have no qualification at all. But if we stick to the instructions of Prabhupada, if we stick to the instructions of a spiritual master, then with their instructions, we become eligible. Right? Bhakti Vinod Thakur plays, Yogyata Vicharo Kichu Nahi Pao, Tumhari Karuna Sar. That if you try to find some qualification in me, you will not find anything. Because I don't have any qualification. But Tumhara Karuna Sar, I am the essence of your kripa only. I'm made up of your mercy. That's what he says. I'm made up of your mercy. So now I'm totally dependent on your mercy. That kind of feeling that a sadhaka should have.
Okay. Thank you for the guidance, Mataji. Dandavat pranams.
Thank you. Okay, dear devotees, so we'll stop here. Thank you again for your association. We'll start with verse number 26, where now Kunti Maharani is saying that who can actually approach the Supreme Lord, who can actually follow this process of Bhakti Yoga. Again, next verse will be a memorizing verse. So let's get prepared. And that is verse number 26. And we'll start on Thursday. So we'll stop here. Vanchakalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis ki jai.
I wish the Sundari Mataji ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Gaurav.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.